Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real tonight. When a man truly misses you, he can't hide it forever. He might try to play it cool, act like he's got everything under control, but trust me, there's always a moment when he slips up. It's in his voice, in that late night text, in the way he brings up your name when he swore he was over you. That's the slip up. That's when you know you left an imprint on his soul that he can't shake off. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about men. Real men don't always express their feelings the way women do. We don't always say, I miss you or I love you, because for most men, vulnerability feels like weakness. Society teaches us to be tough, to stay strong, to keep emotions buried deep inside. But when a man truly feels something, when he's missing you deep in his soul, it leaks out in his actions. You won't always hear it in his words, but you'll see it in the things he does, or sometimes in the things he can't stop himself from doing. He might not say it out loud, but he'll find small ways to let you know that you're still on his mind. When a man misses a woman, he starts to move differently. He'll text you over something small just to open a door to conversation. He'll drive by places you used to go together, not because he's lost, but because he's searching for a memory. He'll look at old pictures, scroll through your social media, listen to songs that remind him of you. These are not accidents. They're emotional habits. You see, a man's emotions don't always come out through tears or words. They show through his patterns. He'll start checking his phone, hoping for your message. He'll replay moments in his head where he wishes he'd said more, done more, been more. That's how men speak. Through action, through effort, through those little moments where they break their own rules. Now, the thing about men is we don't realize what we have until it's gone. And when that realization hits, it doesn't come out as poetry, it comes out as movement. He might suddenly reach out, show up where you are, or ask mutual friends about you. That's not coincidence, that's communication. That's him saying, I still care, without actually saying it. When a man misses you, his ego fights him every step of the way. His pride says, don't call her, but his heart says, what if she's moved on? And eventually, that heart wins, because feelings always beat pride in the long run. When you start seeing those small gestures, the random text, the just checking in, call, the unexpected visit, understand that those are his words in action. That's his version of saying, I miss you, even if his mouth can't form the sentence. Men act before they speak, and sometimes they speak through the only language they know, behavior. So when he starts doing things that seem out of character, when he accidentally runs into you or likes that old photo, don't dismiss it. That's him showing emotion in the only way he knows how. Ladies and gentlemen, if a man misses you, you won't need him to confess it. You'll see it. His actions will speak the words his pride can't say. And that's the truest form of emotion a man can ever show. When a man misses you, his habits start to betray him. He can try to stay silent, act distant, and pretend that he's moved on, but human behavior always tells the truth when someone is emotionally connected to you. Even when they try to hide it, the smallest parts of their routine begin to change. He'll find himself thinking about you at random moments, replaying your conversations, wondering what you're doing, and checking his phone more often than usual. That's the beginning of the slip up. Missing someone isn't always loud. It's quiet. It's in the rhythm of his days that no longer feel right without you in them. A man might tell himself he's fine, that he doesn't care anymore, but deep down he'll start to feel a void. That void is where his habits shift. He'll start remembering your laugh at the strangest times or comparing other people to you without realizing it. He'll look for pieces of you in different places and different faces, but never find the same energy. That's when his mind starts betraying his pride. He might scroll through your social media, checking if you've posted anything new, or he might look through old messages just to feel close to what he lost. Those aren't random impulses. They are habits born from emotional attachment. Men often believe they can control how they feel by controlling what they do, but emotions have a way of showing up uninvited. When he misses you, he'll notice that certain songs remind him of you. He'll drive past your favorite spot and remember how you laughed there. He'll find excuses to talk to you, maybe under the pretense of something casual or necessary, but what's really happening is his mind is trying to reconnect even when his ego is fighting against it. His actions, no matter how subtle, reveal what's really going on inside. Sometimes he won't even reach out directly, but he'll make himself visible. He might start liking your posts, being active online at the same times as you, or asking mutual friends about you. These small, almost invisible moves are the cracks in his wall of self-control. They are proof that he's thinking of you more than he wants to admit. Habits are built on repetition, and when he starts repeating things connected to you, that's not coincidence. That's emotion working through habit. When a man misses you, his behavior changes before his words do. He becomes restless, distracted, or distant with others. He might throw himself into work or hobbies trying to forget, but he'll realize none of it fills the space you once occupied. That's when his habits fully betray him. He'll call you when he swore he wouldn't, text you when he promised himself he'd move on, or mention your name in conversations without meaning to. That's what it means when his habits give him away. You don't need him to say he misses you. His actions, his patterns, and his unguarded moments will say it louder than any words ever could. Distance reveals true feelings faster than words ever could. When two people step away from each other, the silence between them begins to speak louder than any conversation they ever had. Time apart has a way of exposing what's real and what was temporary. When a man truly cares for you, distance doesn't make him forget. It makes him realize. It gives him the space to feel the absence of your presence, the warmth of your energy, and the comfort that once surrounded his days. At first, he might enjoy the space, thinking he's fine without you, but slowly that emptiness begins to grow. The longer he goes without hearing your voice or seeing your smile, the more he starts to understand how much you meant to him. When a man misses you, he begins to replay moments in his mind that once felt ordinary but now feel priceless. He remembers the way you laughed at his jokes, the way you listened when he talked, and how you made him feel understood even when he couldn't find the right words. That realization doesn't happen in the noise of the world. It happens in the quiet moments when he's alone. Distance strips away distractions and forces him to confront his emotions. It's in that stillness that he begins to recognize the difference between missing a person and missing the feeling of being cared for. If his emotions were shallow, distance will erase them. But if they were real, distance will only deepen them. People often think that staying in touch keeps love alive, but sometimes it's the absence that reveals its strength. When a man is genuinely connected to you, he will feel the space you leave behind. He might try to fill it with work, friends, or new connections, but none of it feels the same. That's when the truth becomes clear. He realizes that no one else gives him the same peace, the same spark, the same sense of belonging. The things he once took for granted suddenly become the things he craves most. That's how distance works. It's the mirror that reflects what was always there, but never fully seen. Eventually, that longing starts to break through his pride. He begins to miss the comfort of your presence and the sound of your voice. He may start checking his phone, wondering if you've reached out or thinking of ways to talk to you again. The silence that once felt like freedom starts to feel heavy. That's the power of distance. It teaches him what connection really means. You can tell when feelings are genuine because they don't fade with time or space. They grow stronger. Distance doesn't destroy real love. It reveals it. It shows who truly values you, who notices your absence, and who was only around for convenience. When he begins to feel the weight of your absence, that's when he understands your worth more deeply than he ever did when you were there. Emotional attachment makes him reach out even when he tries not to. When a man forms a deep connection with a woman, that bond doesn't fade just because he decides to stay away. His emotions begin to pull him in directions his mind tries to resist. He can tell himself he's done. He can promise his friends he won't text you again. But when feelings are genuine, logic loses the fight. The heart always finds a way to speak, even through silence. That's why when a man misses you, you'll feel it before he even says a word. He'll find reasons to connect, to check in, to somehow stay in your world, even if it's from a distance. Emotional attachment isn't something that can be turned off. It lingers, it grows, and it shows up when he least expects it. A man might go days, weeks, or even months trying to move on, trying to convince himself that he's strong enough to forget you. But every memory, every scent, every song that reminds him of you becomes a quiet whisper pulling him back. He might scroll through his phone late at night, stopping on your name, but not sending a message. He'll tell himself, I'm not going to call, yet somehow his fingers hover over your contact. That's emotional attachment in action, a constant internal battle between pride and longing. And when that longing wins, he slips up. He'll send that, "Hey, how have you been?" text, pretending it's casual, but deep down, it's his heart reaching out for connection. Men are taught to hide their emotions, to stay composed and in control, but true attachment breaks through those walls. He can't stop caring even if he tries to. You become part of his thought process. When he hears something funny, he thinks of how you'd react. When he achieves something, he wishes you were there to see it. When life feels heavy, he misses your comfort. Those aren't just random thoughts. They're emotional patterns formed from genuine connection. He may not understand why he feels this way, but he knows he can't escape it. That's why even the strongest men sleep up when emotions are real. They can suppress desire, but they can't suppress attachment. Eventually, his heart begins to take over his logic. He starts wondering what you're doing, whether you still think about him, whether you've moved on. That curiosity comes from emotional dependence, a longing to still matter in your world. Even if he doesn't reach out directly, he'll do it indirectly, liking your posts, showing up where you might be, asking about you through others. Those are all signs of emotional attachment, trying to find its outlet. When a man misses you deeply, that bond will keep pulling him back until he gives in. His heart will speak through his actions, revealing that no matter how hard he tries to stay silent, emotional attachment always finds its way through. A man's pride may hide his feelings, but his behavior exposes him. Pride is one of the strongest forces in a man's heart, and often it stands in the way of him expressing what he truly feels. When he misses you, his first instinct isn't to say it, it's to suppress it. He doesn't want to appear weak or vulnerable. He wants to believe he has control over his emotions. But the truth is, when someone means something to you, pride can't hold that truth forever. Eventually, the emotions find cracks in that armor. You'll see it in the way he hesitates before ignoring your message, in the way he lingers on your name before putting his phone down, in the way he reacts when someone else mentions you. Those little moments, the ones he tries to hide, tell you everything his pride refuses to admit. Pride makes a man act like he's fine, but his actions always tell another story. He might post things on social media to make it seem like he's moved on, but deep down he's hoping you'll see them. He'll pretend to be busy, to be unbothered, but he'll still check if you've watched his stories. He may tell his friends he's over it, yet he'll still bring you up in conversation. That's pride working against emotion. It's a tug of war between the image he wants to maintain and the truth his heart can't ignore. Pride can silence words, but it can't erase feeling. So even if he doesn't call or text, his actions will start revealing the truth piece by piece. When a man has real feelings, he'll do things he can't explain. He'll avoid you to protect his ego, then miss you so much that he can't stand it. He'll convince himself he's fine without you, only to realize that his days feel empty. Pride delays expression, but it doesn't prevent emotion. The more he fights what he feels, the more visible it becomes. His temper might change, his energy might shift, or he might become unusually quiet. All these behaviors are signs that he's wrestling with himself. He doesn't want to admit he cares, but everything about him gives it away. His tone softens when your name comes up. His eyes light up when someone reminds him of you, and he pays attention to things that connect back to you. That's pride losing its grip on truth. At some point, he'll realize that hiding his feelings doesn't protect him, it only hurts him more. Pride may delay the confession, but it can't erase the connection. The more he tries to prove he's indifferent, the more obvious his emotions become. When a man misses you, his behavior changes before his words do. You'll see it in the effort he puts into avoiding you, in the frustration he shows when others mention you, and in the way his guard weakens over time. Pride can disguise emotion for a while, but real feelings always surface. No matter how hard he tries to hide them, his behavior will always tell the truth. If you hold your value, he will chase what he's afraid to lose. The biggest mistake many people make when they feel someone pulling away is to chase after them. But when you know your worth, you don't chase, you attract. The truth is, a man always values what he has to work for, and respect grows when he realizes you won't settle for less than what you deserve. When he misses you and you stay grounded in your self-respect, that's when the power shifts. He starts to remember why he was drawn to you in the first place: your confidence, your independence, your peace. When you don't beg for his attention or demand his presence, he feels the weight of losing something real. He begins to realize that not everyone gives the kind of energy you brought into his life, and that realization creates fear, the fear of losing you forever. Men are natural pursuers. When something truly matters to them, they go after it. But they also test boundaries to see what they can get away with. When you hold your value, you silently show him that you're not someone who waits around for crumbs of affection. You show him that you don't need him, you want him. And that's a very different kind of strength. That difference is what makes a man take notice. When he realizes that you're not chasing him, that you've stopped checking on him, that your life continues to move beautifully without him, that's when his pride starts to crack. The silence becomes uncomfortable and his thoughts become louder. He starts wondering if you've moved on, if someone else sees what he took for granted. That curiosity and fear are what drive him back. The moment you stop giving him your energy, he starts to crave it. The more you focus on yourself, your peace, your goals, your growth, the more he starts to miss the version of himself he was when he was around you. Men miss women who make them feel alive, supported, and inspired. When you walk away with grace and strength, you remind him that losing you isn't just losing a person, it's losing peace, balance, and emotional warmth. Holding your value doesn't mean playing games or pretending you don't care. It means knowing that love should come from choice, not desperation. You teach him that your attention is earned, not owed. Eventually, when he realizes that he can't find another you, he'll chase what he's afraid to lose. He'll start reaching out, trying to reconnect, trying to fix what he broke. That's when his actions become real, because now they come from respect, not convenience. When you stand firm in your worth, you shift the dynamic completely. Instead of chasing love, you inspire it. Instead of begging for attention, you command it through your strength. And when he truly misses you, that's what makes him come back, not because he's lonely, but because he finally understands your value and fears the loss of it more than anything else.